I think spatularettes.
You know, that's the one that is the most like an actual show, like Short Order Cooks, like a reality show about short order cooks. Nick and I had a great idea for a show about the ladies that work the makeup counters.
Oh, that'd be good.
In the mall. We're going to call it counterculture. But like when they go, because they all have way too much makeup on, like anybody that's a representative of their job is a poor, like any hairdresser has jacked up hair. And like the ladies at the makeup counter have way too much like who would ever take advice from them? Anybody that works at Whole Foods is a fucking fat slob. And you're like, really? You're a vegan? You're a pig? I don't know. I said that like Colin, you know? So counterculture, like there's like rivalries like at Macy's. And then we realized we put a budget together. We did it all the thing. And then we realized you would have to blur out the entire show, which is everything would be blurry except the person's face, because they're always standing in front of at least 40 products. Different La Mer, Clinique, Charlie, Cotton, J-Glo, and Stetson. So the entire show would just be a blurry background with a scary monster clown lady face.
Yep.
Or you would have to like have a 10-year process of getting every company behind the person in that shot to sign off, which, as you know, would never happen. So you're saying Uncle Dan's a crooked guy that always comes in under to make the banks happy.
He must.
That's really what you're saying.
Katz must have just had a bad appraisal here within the last 6 or 8 months.
I didn't call him a crook. I'm just saying. He works for the bank. He's saying he doesn't work for the bank, but he really works for the bank.
I hate banks. I really do. I don't like them. I'll say that right now.
What don't you like about it? They hold your money and give you...
If he didn't work for the bank, he said his appraisals have become more and more conservative. Yeah. Why? It's not the middleman is not telling them to be conservative.
No,
now
it's the bank. Scared the hell out of all of us in the last few years. That's what they've done. The banks caused this whole problem. That's why I don't like them.
The listeners are now officially choosing sides.
Why?
Because I got you guys going at each other. This is great.
That's the type of guy you are, Jay.
I'm a lovable I'm the point guard. But I'm distributing the ball.
That attitude is the attitude everybody really has, and it makes sense, really.
No, but it's the truth. You just said it was the truth.
Well, it's not the truth that I work for the bank.
You're not running for office.
I'm just saying I don't work for those guys. I don't like the banks. I work for myself. I'm an independent guy.
Uncle Dan.
Go ahead.
Someone calls you and says, I want you to go appraise a condo in Van Nuys tomorrow.
Yeah.
That person is who? Don't say the name of the company.
That's a company.
But just say who it is.
It's
not the name of the company, but tell me what they do. What is that called?
What do you mean? The appraisal management company?
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Who called the appraisal management company to tell you to go do the appraisal of the condo in Van Nuys?
The bank.
Who?
The bank.
So then you work for the bank.
How can you say that? I don't work for the bank. I don't even work for the appraisal management company.
Let me put it in showbiz terms.
All right.
Okay. Do I work for Live Nation? Barry.
When you do a concert,
but
many times you do.
The man on the street answer is what?
No.
No. I'm a comic. However, I was just at the Midland Theater in Kansas City.
I know what you're saying.
Do I work for the Midland Theater? That night I worked for the Midland Theater. However, the people that are in charge of selling tickets for the Midland Theater is the company known as Live Nation. Therefore, I work for Live Nation.
I get you.
We all work for Ticketmaster. Even you, Uncle Dan.
Do I?
Come see Uncle Dan live at a condo in Van Nuys tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You got to get a Twitter account.
I'll be the guy with the big, Chase Bank shirt on.
That's my bank.
Is it?
Maybe.
They're screwed up. All the big banks, they're definitely screwed up.
All we know is that Stamps.com is great and that Pepsi
is greater.
Is delicious.
It is
greater.
I love Pepsi.
Katz, anything you want to promote? Anybody you want to sign?
I just want to say thank you again for having me on. I can't believe how many times I've been on this. I love every single moment of every time I'm on.
Yeah,
people want you to have your own podcast.
I would be honored to have my own podcast.
What kind of content would you... You know what? It's too long.
It's a lot of work, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Have your friends over to your house and talk about fucking banks. Katz's Corner.
That's good.
Katz's Deli.
Cats in the Cradle.
Cats in the Cradle makes me think of a dead kid.
Up in a tree.
Yeah, before you came, we were talking about, because the baby, and Uncle Dan was holding the baby. The baby has this glowworm where you press its chest and it goes, dun, 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 and the baby will hold its glowworm and rock back and forth. Uncle Dan's holding the baby, rocking back and forth. And then we get obsessed with, like, who puts their fucking baby in a tray? Like, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock, and the bow will break, and down will come baby, cradle and all. That was 4 hours ago, Katz. And by the way, if you're listening right now, we're at the halfway point. Woo! There's been more stories. The battle of 100%ers. This is really Mello and Amare just fighting for minutes right here. But Katz, I'll say this. You took the ball, you filled it up. You were undeniable.
Undeniable.
Thanks, brother.
Uncle Dan was like Steve Novak, lurking out on the three-point line. Swish. That sound you hear? Swish.
Swish.
That's Uncle Dan's mustache.
Blowing
that Barry
in the wind.
thinks is a little too close to a Hitler mustache for his liking, even though it's past his lips.
I can take criticism. I'm going to grow this mustache out. Next time you see me...
Why do you do a handlebar?
I used to have a, down like that, but Laurie didn't like it, so I'll grow it out.
You know why mustache rides are free?
Why?
They have to be. Put your name on it. We're going to really... One guy is actually going to lose your 100%. Dan's nervous. Midget poker.
Hey, it was nice meeting you. Hey, and I listened. I was going back and listening to some of the old podcasts, and I listened to that one. I don't know, must have been a year ago when Barry was on.
When Barry was on?
Yeah.
Barry's been on how many times?
Oh, a lot of times.
I don't even know.
Have you had? Be honest. Have you had clients or like young comics meet you and know you from the podcast?
Yes, I go out to places and they say, people stop me and I don't even know them. They say, podcast, man, that changed my life. I mean, seriously, I get emails. It's crazy.
But have you signed anybody from it? We got to get you some big Whitney Cummings clients.
Let's not go crazy.
Let me be your first hire, man.